Students, today our lecture will be on classification and elements of cost. This is lecture for BCom part first. Costing, ABST paper first. Students, cost has a meaning and there are different types of costs which are being ascertained for different purposes. No single cost or cost concept can be acceptable in all the situations, whether it is firm, it is company, it is corporation, or any other business unit. Cost is characterized by a word sacrifice. There are so many types of expenses which are incurred in manufacturing a product or the services. All these expenses incurred in manufacturing a product constitute cost of the product. In the manufacturing furniture, three principal elements of cost of the product as material, labor and other expenses are being used. The proportion of these elements varies from product to product. Students, therefore, the classification of various expenses is termed as classification of cost. The primary groups in which cost have been divided are known as elements of cost. Elements of cost in real sense are total expenses which constitute the total cost of the product. Now, students of BCom, we have to understand here what are the classification of costs. There are direct and indirect costs. We all know. We are aware about that direct costs and indirect costs are being incurred in every manufacturing units. The expenses on material and labor economically and easily traceable to a product, service or job are considered as direct cost. Students, in the presence of manufacture or production of articles, materials are purchased, laborers are employed, and the wages are paid to them. Certain other expenses are incurred, which are directly incurred, therefore classified as direct cost. All these take an active and direct part in the manufacturing process. Therefore, always denoted as direct cost. The expenses on these items which are directly chargeable to the production are also known as direct cost, are also known as direct cost. For example, in production, salaries of timekeepers, storekeepers, foremen, paid, certain expenses recurring for administration are incurred. The second part of it are considered as indirect costs. All of these cannot be conveniently allocated to production and hence are called the indirect costs. To summarize it, I may say that direct costs are direct to production cost, and the process of administration are there which are being incurred are known as indirect costs. When we talk about what is the product cost or period cost, costs which become part of the cost of product rather than the expenses of the period in which they are incurred are classified as product cost. They are included in inventory value. When we talk about the financial statements, such costs are treated as assets until the goods they are assigned to be sold. Students, they become an expense at the time. These costs may be fixed in nature. I will repeat it again. These costs may be fixed in nature as well as variable. For example, raw material and direct wages, depreciation on plant equipments. Now, students, costs which are not associated with production, they are called as period costs. I will repeat it for the students here that costs which are not associated with production are called period costs. They are treated as an expenses of the period in which they are incurred. They may also be fixed as well as variable. Such costs include general administration cost, salesman's salary, commission, depreciation on office fees. They are charged against the revenue of a relevant period. Students, there is a difference of opinion exists regarding whether certain costs should be considered as product cost or a period cost. So we have to be very careful here to ascertain which costs are the product costs and which costs are the period costs. Some accounts are of the opinion that fixed manufacturing costs are more closely related to the passage of time than the period and product costs, while fixed manufacturing and other costs are product costs. However, their view does not seem to have been yet widely accepted. Students, while calculating the marginal cost of the product, all variable manufacturing cost of the product treated as product costs. However, while computing the cost of the product under absorption costs, all manufacturing costs, whether fixed or variable, are treated as product costs. In case of a firm which is following direct cost method, only direct costs are considered as product costs, while indirect costs be taken as period costs. Repeat it again. In case of firms which are following the direct cost method, I will repeat again, only direct costs will be considered as product costs, while indirect costs will be taken as period costs. In financial accounting, All costs, whether fixed or variable, which becomes part of the inventory value, are considered as product costs, while all costs which do not become part of inventory value are treated as product costs. The product costs are treated as assets until the product to which they are assigned are sold, while in period costs, the costs are treated as an expense in the period they are incurred. Now, students, it is very clear here which costs can be treated as period costs and which costs can be treated as product cost. In spite of that, also the students of BCom must know about the decision making costs and accounting costs, and also how we can differentiate between the decision making costs and accounting costs. Decision making costs are special purpose costs that are applicable only in the situation in which they are constituted. They have no universal application. I will repeat it again. They have no universal application. They need not tie into routine financial accounting. Underline this, they need not tie into routine financial accounts. They should not confirm the accounting rules. Accounting costs are primary from financial statements. All accounting costs are from the financial statements. They have to be altered before they can be used for decision making. Moreover, they are historical costs and show what has happened under the existing set of circumstances. Students, while decision making costs are future costs, they represent what is expected to happen and assumed set of conditions within the business. For example, accounting costs may show the cost of product when the operations are manual, while decision making cost must be calculated to show the cost when the operational of the business are mechanized. I will repeat it again for more understanding, students, that decision making cost might be calculated to show the costs when the operations are mechanized. Students, for your understanding, there should be also the awareness about what are the controllable and what are the uncontrollable costs. Controllable costs are those costs which can be influenced by the action of a specific number of undertaking. Students, I will repeat it again. Controllable costs are those costs which can be influenced by the action of a specific number of undertaking. Costs which can not be so influenced are termed as uncontrollable costs. For example, a factory is usually divided in a number of responsibility centers, each of which in charge of a special level of management. The officer in charge of the particular department or cost center can control cost only of those matters which come directly under his charge, but not of other matters. Therefore, students, the expenditure incurred by the tool room is controlled by the foreman in charge of the section, but the share of the tool room expenditure, which is proportional to the machine shop, cannot be controlled by the machine shop foreman. Thus, we have to understand the difference between controllable and uncontrollable costs only in relation to a particular individual or the level of management. An expense or the expenditure which is controlled by one individual may be uncontrollable so far another individual is concerned. Students, there are also some examples of opportunity costs which are very important for us to understand as far as costing is concerned. Opportunity costs refers to the advantage in measurable terms. I will repeat it, students. Opportunity cost refers to the advantage in measurable terms which has been foregone on account of not using the facilities in a manner originally planned. For example, if an owned business is proposed to be utilized for housing a new project plan, the likely revenue of the building could fetch if rented out is the opportunity cost, which should be taken into account while calculating the profitability of the product. Similarly, if the manufacturer is confronted with the problem of selecting any one of the following two alternatives may be: number 1, selling a semi-finished product at rupees 2 or 3 per unit and introducing it into another further process to make it more refined and valuable. What can be the alternate here? Alternative will prove to be remunerative only when, after paying the cost for further process, the amount realized by the sale of the product is more than rupees 2 per unit or 3 per unit, as example cited above. The revenue which could have been otherwise realized, the revenue of rupees 2 per unit or the revenue of rupees 3 per unit, is foregone in the case B is adopted. The term opportunity cost refers to the alternative revenue foregone. Now, when we talk about the element of cost, we have the material cost. Very important for the students of BCom to understand what material cost is. Material consumed in a manufacturing of an item is the first element of cost. It includes the cost of all commodities supplied to an undertaking. I will repeat it for the students that material cost is the material consumed in manufacturing of an item is the first element of the cost. It includes the cost of all commodities supplied to the undertaking. Now, second comes, what is the labor cost? Labor costs are the costs of remunerating the employees of an undertaking. It can be known as wages or labor costs. It includes wages, salaries, commission, bonus, etc. It is the second element of the cost. Now, coming the second part of it, what is an expense? All other expenses except those on material and labor are grouped into third element of costs. They include the cost of services provided to the undertaking and the notional cost of the use of owner assets. Students, in business, the notional cost of the use of owned asset is also included in the cost. For example, Depreciation. Classification of cost is not complete only by dividing the cost in the three groups. Each element of cost is again subdivided into groups known as direct cost or indirect cost and is classified as material cost. What is the material cost? Material cost is direct material cost plus indirect material cost. What is the labor cost? Labor cost is direct labor cost plus indirect labor cost. Now, what is an expense? Direct expense or indirect expense. Now, direct and indirect material cost, if we have to compare in that, the expenditure incurred on material in any business can be divided into parts: direct material cost and indirect material cost. In some material, cost can be allocated to a particular cost center or cost unit. It is the direct material cost of that center or the unit. It may be noted that material cost can be allocated to a center or unit only if a separate account of the use of the material is possible to be kept for each center or the unit. In many cases, students, it is not in practice to keep separate account of the consumption of the material, especially when the cost of the material is much less. In such cases, the cost of the material is proportional to direct costs units on the proper basis. Now, the cost of material that forms the part of the product is charged to it and is known as direct material cost. But the cost of material which only helps in the process of production is charged as indirect cost. For example, in cloth mill, cotton yarn is a direct material, while oil, grease, etc. are needed for the machine are indirect material costs. Now coming, what is the then direct and indirect labor cost? Students, like the material cost, the expenditure on labor can be divided into two groups, direct or indirect. In some, wages has been paid for work at a particular cost center or unit. It is charged as direct labor cost or direct wages to that center. Wages which can be allocated to cost centers or cost unit are known as direct wages. On the other hand, if the services of person are utilized at different cost centers or cost unit, and separate accounts of time spent by the person at each center or unit is not maintained, the wage of that person will be indirect wage labor cost of these centers or units. Wages which cannot be allocated but which can be absorbed by cost centers or cost unit are indirect wages or indirect labor costs. Students, for example, wages of the masons and helpers engaged in construction and building is a direct labor cost, while a salary to the engineer supervisor for construction of the building will be indirect cost to be appropriation to all the buildings on some appropriate basis. So today in this lecture we will be able to understand the difference between what is the material cost, what is the labor cost, what are the expenses, what are the direct material cost, and what is the indirect material cost, what is the direct labor cost, indirect labor cost, and what is the direct expenses and indirect expenses. Thank you very much.